Whether you're hitting the road or kicking back in the cab, it's time to take a load off with Big Rig Banter. Powered by AllTruckJobs.com, your source for finding the trucking jobs drivers really want. Get ready to shift into gear and let the conversations roll.
All right, hello and welcome. The date is May 20th, and you're listening to the 54th episode of Big Rig Banter. I'm your co-host, Troy Diffenderfer.
And I'm your favorite co-host, Lene Rule.
And hey guys, again, I want to take a minute and give a special shout out to all the professional drivers out there. You're the ones keeping America moving during this challenging time.
And Pilot Flying J wants to say thank you as well. To show their gratitude for all you do, they want to give you more rewards and more points. It's called Push for Points, and it can get you to 4 points faster while you're racking up those hard-earned miles. That's right. You can reach 4 points per gallon after only 6 qualifying fills. Push for Points is available only in the Pilot Flying J app for a limited time only.
And it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Here's how it works. Step 1, push the Activate button in the app at the beginning of each month. Step 2, fill your tank with at least 75 gallons of diesel. And Step 3, sit back and watch your point balance grow faster than ever before. You'll increase your earning level after each commercial diesel fill over 75 gallons, from 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5, and so on. You'll be earning 4 points per gallon for the rest of the month after 6 qualifying fills.
And what can you do with all those points? Well, your rig's not the only thing that needs a fill-up, right? When you get hungry or you need a tasty beverage, you can redeem points for in-store savings on the essentials, as well as merchandise for you and your rig. And when you pull into park for a while, you can redeem points for a reserved parking spot and Wi-Fi credits at participating Pilot and Flying J locations.
And once again, from Pilot Flying J, thank you for all that you do, drivers, and stay safe on the road. See terms and conditions at pilotflyingj.com/app.
Awesome. So how many weeks are we at, Troy?
I lost track. I did notice that I don't even care anymore at this point. I did notice the weather's getting nicer, which is like the only thing that I have to look forward to. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed the sunlight until I worked in the basement when it's still cold, and I don't know. As long as there's sunlight, I don't even care if it's 120 degrees outside now. I just want to be outside in the sun.
I know. I feel you. I am really happy that the weather's getting warmer.
And I feel and that's me knocking on wood, but I feel like we're not at the tail end or anywhere close to this, but I feel like we are on the upswing, or at least nearing, where we're gonna start seeing maybe things get back to normal slowly but surely. But again, who knows?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of different parts of the country are starting to open back up. I mean, here, for those of you listening, we're in Pennsylvania, so we're kind of surrounded by a lot of really big cities. So things are moving a little slower here, but I'm definitely trying to stay positive.
I know. I'm just waiting for the day where we can sit across from each other with no face masks or nothing and actually look at each other.
And drink a beer and cheers.
Exactly. I can't wait for that day. So hopefully soon, fingers crossed, and, we just got to be patient.
So I have some new trivia questions for you today, and they have to do with beer.
Nice. One of my expertise, actually.
Yeah. So, not all of them have to do with beer. So I have a couple because I feel like my questions are all too easy. You're just so smart.
That is true.
This quarantine's really getting to me.
Yeah.
I just complimented you. All right. Are you ready for some trivia before we get into the episode?
Yes.
Okay. So, which 2 states don't observe daylight savings time? This isn't a beer question.
I know
I'm starting with the others first.
I know one of them is Arizona. 100% Arizona. Right?
That's correct. Do you know the other?
It's going to be freaking Alaska or Hawaii, and I don't know which one to pick. I'm going to go with Hawaii.
Yep. Arizona and Hawaii.
I knew it. See? I'm just getting smarter as the day goes by. I don't have anything other to do than just study pointless information that I probably won't ever need to know except here.
Well, now I'm worried. I feel like you're going to get all of these. Okay, now this is a movie category.
Okay.
Okay, which Tom Hanks movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994?
Castaway.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, I should have known that. It's one of my favorite movies, even though it's like 7 hours long or something crazy.
It is not that long.
It's very long, but it's still it's one of those movies where like it doesn't matter if it's like 30 minutes in or like 30 minutes left, like I'll still just watch it through wherever when you stumble across it, but I should have known that.
I know. I was like, well, I wasn't sure like how young you are, like how old were you in 1994? I wasn't sure if you even
I was 1 year
saw
old.
that movie. And I know that you 1 year old. And I know that you you watch more like scary movies. So I was like, maybe he's not seen Forrest Gump.
I know. I've seen both of them. I knew he had to have won awards for Castaway too, but I knew Forrest Gump got a bunch of awards. But let's continue.
Yeah, but I feel like Castaway was later in life. Okay. Okay, now we'll get to the beer question. So, what's the most popular beer in the United States?
Man, that's tough. I'm going to say it's going to be either Miller Lite or Bud Light. I'm going to say Bud Light.
Correct.
Nice. Not my preferred drink of choice, but to each their own.
Well, I thought of that question, looking up that question, because my brother-in-law has been on a Budweiser kick, and he was like, Budweiser, the most popular beer in Canada. And I was like, that is not true. And then I started Googling things like that to ask you.
Nice.
So, okay, I'm going to read 3 facts about beer, but one of them is not true. So you have to pick the false one.
Okay.
Number 1. Hops are in the same family of flowering plants as marijuana. Number 2, the first professional brewers were all women. And number 3, the United States drinks more beer per capita than any other country. Which one is false?
Oh, that's tough. I know one is definitely true. I want to say, because you said professional, and I know beer back in the day was started by monks. I'm pretty sure. That might be completely false, and I'm just talking out of my butt, but I'm pretty sure that's true. But you said professional, so 2 could be false, but I'm going to go with number 3.
That's right. It is the false one.
I knew it. See? 3 for 4.
The Czech... Okay, so I already started to say it, so I'm just going to say it. Czech Republic drinks more beer per capita than any other country. Isn't that crazy? But if you go with like the most beer, total, then China is number 1 and the U.S. is number 2. Isn't that weird?
That is crazy. I'm just proud of myself. I got 3 out of 4.
I know. You're so smart. I got to get tougher. Do you have a category request for next time?
I'll let you be the judge. I mean, I've nailed questions from like any kind of category already, so.
I know. If I ever play trivia, I'm calling you.
Yeah.
All right. So today we were going to talk a little bit about some trends that we're seeing in the trucking industry since the pandemic started. And as most of you listening know, Big Rig Banter is powered by alltruckjobs.com, which is a job board. And so we have a lot of, I don't know, exclusive information, I guess. But, we were able to pull some numbers and see which jobs were trending and increasing during this time, which jobs dropped during this time, and some other cool stats. So we're going to break down, I guess, we have like 4 trends that we're seeing right now in the trucking industry.
Yeah, we talked to different people in the industry about how this virus is impacting them, and we wanted to look specifically at how it's impacting jobs. So this is for maybe people that are looking for a new driving career, or maybe you're looking for your first driving job. And obviously, this virus has impacted everything in every industry, especially the job sector for trucking. And we've pulled some really unique information and found some really interesting trends it's definitely going to be beneficial for those who are on the job hunt or those just in the industry and curious about how this virus is affecting jobs?
Yeah, for sure. So for the first thing we noticed is that certain jobs skyrocketed from February to March, and then others, we saw a huge decrease in job listings on All Truck Jobs specifically. So, so that's just our website, but it's pretty safe to say that this was probably across the board. So from February to March, we saw reefer trucking jobs increase by 135%. So that was like the big one, which, in the beginning, everyone was rushing to the grocery stores, buying a ton of food. People couldn't, drivers couldn't keep the shelves stocked fast enough. So that makes sense. And then we saw flatbed jobs increase by 57% during that time, and dry van by 24%. So those three, if you were looking for a trucking job right now, those would probably be some good ones to check out. We saw drops in freight such as car haulers, tankers, and intermodal, which makes sense because a lot of states shut down, car sales and stuff like that.
I think the reefer jobs is the most interesting trend. It increased in the beginning and it kind of leveled out now, but there's still a tons of jobs. And for those who listened to my interview with Sergio a few episodes ago, his fleet was actually transitioning more towards these reefer positions and trying to reach out to companies who maybe need help with reefer hauling. And it's because he, saw that trend and saw that we need to get these perishable items to stores as fast as we can. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And it was cool to see that, the numbers backing up and, getting those numbers after Sergio already recognized that trend was really cool. And it shows that these truck drivers are thinking on their feet and, kind of being flexible.
Yeah, definitely just kind of moving to where the jobs are. And, it's not easy, as many of you know, to switch sometimes from one freight to another just because certain freight does require different level of skill sets. So I think that's interesting, too, to see drivers kind of put themselves out there and try something new.
For sure. And, the second trend we're looking at is we're seeing the driver shortage magnified by lots of schools needing to shut down. And so it's a really good time to find a CDL school that's open and get into trucking. Our last episode, we talked to Fred Hart, who's working for a trucking school, and he was saying how they're still trying to train drivers and how that need for drivers is still there. So again, it was really cool to talk to someone who is already identifying these trends, and, we're coming to you today kind of reiterating them or backing them up. But I think that's a really important thing to think about is I think you might be hesitant to look for a CDL now just because of the climate and how we're kind of on rocky territory right now. But now's a better time more than ever to consider getting your CDL.
Yeah, for sure. And then the third trend, I think, kind of ties into that. It's a really good time to become a truck driver, but for truck drivers who've been driving forever, I think everyone is kind of feeling this little bit of it's just uncharted territory, and there's a lot of regulations that you've been able to push back on throughout the years and whatever. But right now, we're seeing even more things that you have to do, like having to wear a mask probably at most loading docks, and a lot of your processes and systems changing. So while it's a great time to look for a trucking job, keep in mind that the trucking industry is not only impacted in terms of being busy from the virus, but also the safety standpoint. So there are a lot of things changing within the industry to meet the needs of the pandemic in that sense, too. Not to get into anything political, but I'm sure there are drivers who are grateful for the safety measures, and I'm sure there are those who are rolling their eyes or a little bit annoyed about it, too. So, that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're not alone. We were just talking earlier off air. I was telling you how my dad's, he works in carpentry, and he's had to wear masks as regulations, and wearing a mask for 8 hours a day or longer is definitely can get difficult. Some of us will complain just having to wear it to the grocery store or somewhere. But wearing it 8 hours at a time, I'm sure is rough. But, sticking with these regulations is hopefully going to, return things back to normal sooner rather than later as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know about you guys, but my hands are really dry from having to wash them a lot.
Yeah,
so
I definitely agree
it is
there.
what it is. Yeah.
And just to wrap things up, the fourth thing we're seeing, and it's no secret, the industry's really unpredictable right now. Just obviously that data we pulled, we saw it go up and down, and we'll probably still continue to see it change. And I think the most important thing we can recommend is just being flexible and trying to go with the flow and, again, follow those safety precautions and those health guidelines, because the sooner, we can get the flatten the curve or whatever they say or anything like that, the sooner we can get back to normal, because, that's all what we're looking for now is a sense of normal, or, we might never get back to completely normal, but, we'll create a new normal for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the most important thing for anyone looking at the trucking industry is to keep in mind that, when things get rough in the economy, trucking does, feel it first. And that can be really, really scary. But the good thing is that when things, trickle back up, trucking also feels that first. Look how trucking's been booming in the past couple of years. So hopefully things are going to balance out and become a little more predictable, but we can always predict that when things get back to good, trucking is going to be the best. So,
and we're seeing it now. Things are tough right now, but we've seen how truckers have really still been the backbone of the economy and getting things on time and making sure the shelves are stocked and things like that. So again, we both really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone out there is really appreciating the trucking industry and everything that you guys do. Seriously, it would be much, much more difficult if the trucking industry was struggling even more.
Oh, I know. I can't imagine. I have to admit, I've been doing quite a bit of online shopping since I've been stuck at home, and I needed some more comfy pants. So I was grateful that they're being delivered.
Yeah, but so truckers, what are some trends you've noticed since the pandemic started? We want to hear what you're seeing and how it's been, whether you're searching for a job or currently have a job or had to transition to a different type of freight or anything like that. We want to know what's going on. Chat with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Our handles are pretty easy to find, and we really appreciate interacting. Every time we get a comment or anything, we really love reaching out and hearing what you guys have to say.
Yep, and Troy and I monitor that ourselves, so you are talking to us.
Yes, you are.
And as always, just a quick reminder, if you have a free minute, leave us a review. We love to hear from you and let us know how we're doing. And if you have any trivia questions that you want me to ask Troy, send them our way.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm still waiting to be truly stumped. I've been dominating these trivia competitions so far, but I look forward to the challenge. And Lene, it's sunny right now. I might just start running. I just might go outside and just start running and enjoy the sun as much as I can.
All right, you do that. I'm going to stay inside and eat snacks.
All right, but thank you. And once again, I'm your co-host, Troy Diffenderfer.
And I'm your favorite co-host, Lene Rule.
And this has been Big Rig Banter.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Big Rig Banter. For your next job, check out alltruckjobs.com, the premier online source for finding the best driver jobs in the country. Browse hundreds of positions by freight or driver type to get back on the road with confidence. Click subscribe to keep the conversations coming. Until next time on Big Rig Banter.